Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not your dad.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We just got the release of The King of Staten Island starring Pete Davidson on VOD a few days ago, and it was a bit of a weird one. I'll explain in a bit. In the film, Pete Davidson plays Scott Carlin, an ADD-riddled drug addict whose life is quickly going nowhere fast. And so as he says,
Why do you think I smoke weed all the time? So I can slow it down.
Scott wants to open a tattoo restaurant. It's about as stupid as it sounds, but he's a terrible tattoo artist.
Your work is mad inconsistent.
And yet somehow a great regular artist. This movie is about Scott exploring the effects of grief from childhood and learning to not only accept it, but finally move on from it after nearly 20 years. And just like it took our main character forever to get his life started, the movie itself took about a full hour for its pace to actually pick up and important things to finally start happening. It's really a drama trying desperately to be a comedy. And surprisingly, Pete Davidson, the professional comedian, isn't the funniest character in the movie. Most of the funny moments that hit and got me laughing were other characters interacting with him.
I gotta tell my mom you tried to drown me!
To the above ground pool, you're like fucking 8 feet tall.
Speaking of characters, the movie felt very stereotypical in the supporting character department. You've got the single mother trying to figure out her love life, one overachieving child and another underachieving one. Then there's gotta be the stoner friends, who sometimes enable the bad habits, but are mostly just filler. And of course the love interest that the main character has known since childhood. There was even a drunk aunt that popped in and out a few times. It's a formula that's been used before, and even though they're not all too interesting individually, everyone plays their part in telling the story and moving it along. I know this was at least partially based on Pete Davidson's life, but at times I couldn't tell if Pete was acting or just being himself. They may just be one and the same. Marisa Tomei was easily the best character in this movie, and at times, it felt like this movie was more about her than anyone else. She's the common thread that ties almost all of the major characters together in this film. The two main plot drivers of the film are her relationship with her son and her new relationship being played out through her son's perspective as well. It's the evolving nature of this new relationship between these three characters that forced Scott to finally deal with his grief and start taking steps to move forward in his life. It's when you start to move outside of this main story that the film gets a bit weird. The movie has a runtime of 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is longer than most Marvel movies. A lot of it is from unnecessary padding of time spent sitting around with characters in scenes that don't go anywhere, offer any valuable insight, or push any plot forward. The same could be said for a couple of one-off scenes scattered throughout the movie that do the same. There were also a bunch of random plot threads that didn't make any sense or have any sort of resolution, like the restaurant Scott suddenly wasn't working at anymore, or people repeatedly letting a bad artist tattoo their bodies. What was the point of that half-baked robbery idea, or the running joke of Moises Arias and his catfish girlfriend? And what happened to that friend who went to jail and was immediately forgotten by everyone and written out with a single throwaway line? Altogether, this movie just had me asking a bunch of distracting questions that will never get answered. But luckily, as far as the main story is concerned, everything did end up coming together for Scott and almost everybody else of importance in the end. Thank you guys for making it this far. Please be sure to give this video a like, and if you don't mind, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more movie reviews like this one. If you've got something you'd like to add or any kind of response, the comment section is always open for discussion. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a great day and be sure to watch a great movie. Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to all this. You're one of the few people who treat me, like a person.
You're welcome.